What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. In the last episode, we started off the third class trial, and then to find out who the assailant is towards Taka and Hifumi, who died in this chapter. So we're about to find out in this episode. We're going to finish off the class trial and then hopefully get through the rest of the trial and start off chapter 4. So yeah, let's hope and pray that we go through this just fine, because I think we will. Anyways, let's go ahead and get on started. I'm going to check audio again on my stream real quick. Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and make sure audio for the game is good.
I suppose we could start with this morning.
Okay, yeah, we're good to go. Alright, we're good to go. Alright, sorry people of YouTube, let's just make sure everything looks good. Alright, let's get started and let's hopefully get through the rest of this without having to worry about anything. It kind of sucks that I have to click on the tab, so I can actually use my controller to play the game, but whatever.
4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya
My
and
pause
Toko,
came
and
back
then
from my
went on to
recordings
find Hifumi in the
on
library.
OBS Studio. That's weird. I don't know why it went away in the first place, but it should be fine. We'll figure that out later.
He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
It's weird. It's like on Streamlabs, it messes up a lot more, but on OBS, even though it says encoding overloaded or stuff like that, it fixes itself somehow, and everything's still good. What's wrong? I saw a shadow. Something moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange consumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Huh? There we go. I came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body has disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
I don't think it was Sakura then. Sakura pretty much has an alibi for like everything. So I still really think it was Celeste. But like, I can't really say why I think it's Celeste. I just have a feeling it is. Dang, this is hard, Because I really don't think Hiro did it. He's too shocked about everything that's going on that I don't think he's the one that committed it. That's why I really think it was Celeste.
We discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
The contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them, no matter what. Alright, let's do it. Make your argument. Monica with file number 3. Okay.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
Do we know that
What
for
makes
sure,
you
though?
say that?
Yeah.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Justice Hammers were numbered, but were they really used in that order?
So, regarding Taka's death,
Okay.
I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
I don't think we do know what order.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was
killed with while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
No, we don't know the actual order.
so,
Regarding Taka, I wonder if he, or perhaps it was after. We already know what order
don't
they
think
were
so.
killed in.
Really? Come on, Makoto, don't scare me like that.
Shoot!
Sorry. I guess not.
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if, or
perhaps it was after?
we already know what order they were killed in. Taka came
No,
last.
dang it. How do I hold one? Oh, wait. I didn't mean to shoot the thing. Let's see. Different from Hifumi Yamada and Kiyotaka and Ichimaru. Okay.
What makes you say that?
I didn't mean to do that.
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that
Hifumi was while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if he,
or perhaps it was after?
we already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
Maybe? No, I missed
it's
it.
true that
Hifumi was killed while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if he, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the justice hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
I think the second thing that she says is not right.
So, regarding, I wonder if, or perhaps it was, we already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the justice
I
hammers.
don't think that's it. What?
Shoot!
Okay, I think I need to get the flashback thing. And do that.
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was after. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the justice hammers.
No, I need to get rid of that.
It's true that Hifumi while Taka's death.
Okay,
See?
yeah.
So it's obvious Taka came after. So, regarding, I wonder if he, or perhaps it was, we already know what order they were killed. Taka came
There we
last.
go.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the justice hammers.
There we go.
No, that's wrong. Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. Something that relates to what time he must have died. Okay, Hangman's Gambit. Alright. Oh, jeez. Oh, wristwatch. This one's easy. Okay, yeah, this one's easy. Okay. Okay, this one's actually easy. There we go, wristwatch. Wristwatch. This one's the easiest one. I remember the last time we did this, I did not know what it was. It was definitely a wristwatch.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
Hey you, how long were you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that. Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Yeah. Huh? What was that? It came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. That's totally true! We're all in the clear!
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
Yeah, we never found a tape.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with
Definitely not.
Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now,
Oh.
Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
Could not have been gone for more than a minute or two, though. So then the killer was able to get in and move Hifumi's body in that short amount of time. It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Yeah. Hifumi could have moved himself. Because he did wake up for that short amount of time. So he could have moved himself. That is completely possible. He could have moved himself because he was alive for those few seconds after Tina's tears fell on his face. So he could have moved himself. Nobody had to move him if he was still alive.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another ghost!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is, we thought Hifumi was
Yeah.
dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
Yeah. Wow, we didn't even think about that. He could have just been faking his own death. Wow, that is actually really crazy.
That it isn't possible.
The idea that Hifumi was still alive. Is it really possible? Broken wristwatch.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
It was Celeste. It
And
had
you
to
know
have been
that
Celeste.
how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, No.
And that is why the
That
announcement
was
made.
Taka's death.
Are we really so sure
Yeah.
about that?
No, it was probably
Maybe
Taka.
the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Yeah, which was Taka, because Taka's the only other person that died. I'm sure the body discovery announcement was only made once, but Hifumi and Taka's bodies were discovered at almost exactly the same time.
Are you saying that
I don't
when we
think this has
first
anything to do with
found
broken
Hifumi in the
wristwatch.
nurse's
We gotta
office,
find a flashback one.
there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No,
Oh shoot.
it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that
Dang it.
is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Oh dang, okay. It might have to be the one thing that Kyoko said.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
Oh no. You mean this word's tiring? Please stop wasting my time.
Shoot!
Gosh.
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was actually...
No,
Oh shoot.
it is impossible. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovered. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is
Damn.
why the announcement was made.
Are we
Yeah, I think
real?
I have to
Maybe
pick
the
that one, then go
announcement
after
was
this one.
intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Shoot. Yeah. I think I know which one I have to pick.
Are you saying that when we first... There's a chance he was actually...
No. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement...
Are we really so sure? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
No? Oh, maybe it's the other way around.
Shoot!
Well, fail. Oh my god. It was probably the other way around. Yeah, I think it was the other way around.
I refuse to give up yet.
I don't know if the game thinks you're gonna pick no, because why would you pick no? Why would you just let everybody die? I mean, probably if you wanted to see that scene, but yeah, but the broken wristwatch has
Are
nothing
you
to do
saying
with
that
this.
when we first found there's a chance he was actually...
No.
Oh, dang it.
It is impossible. Hifumi was dead. And you know that. Surely you heard the body Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement...
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Yeah, I think it's this one. And then towards Celeste.
Are you saying that when we first found there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
This is the other way around.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Yeah, but the thing is, Hifumi was still alive. Like we said before, he was probably just plain dead. But on the other hand, Byakuya's crew, they found Taka at roughly around the same time. So the announcement was made for Taka, not for Hifumi, because Hifumi was still alive. So you're completely wrong here, Celeste.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if two bodies had been found, there really should have been two announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that It's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Hero's like, what?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
Second body and discovery announcement. First time I played was when we found each body in the nurse's office in the equipment room. And the second time was when both bodies were rediscovered. No, because she was still alive. When both bodies were rediscovered.
We heard it a second time in the repository, when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Body has been discovered. After a certain amount of time, which you may use however you like, the class trial will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
Wow.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet.
He wasn't dead, no.
Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
Yeah, okay, yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, Taka was the first one that was found dead. Hifumi was playing dead. So he made the announcement when Taka's body was found for the first time. And then when we went to repository, Hifumi's body was found dead for the first time, that's when Monokuma makes the announcement. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know!
What do you know, Genocide Jill? Sorry, I'm just putting on my jacket. It's kind of cold.
Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
It was definitely Celeste. It had to have been Celeste. Celeste is really banking on it. She's like kind of like on a completely different like level that we're on. She's like thinking about something else. There has to be proof that shows Hifumi was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Okay. Hifumi's glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body...
I missed the first two.
It was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Oh, it's this one. It's this one right off the bat. I know that. Yep. Because his glasses were clean. And he did have that one cloth that he used.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
The evidence I found in the trash can in the nurse's office was... It was a spotless hammer. No. It was this.
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles from Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
Oh,
A few
Byakuya.
tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Then it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
Oh.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Wonder who Taka's corpse was. Not Taka, he was dead. It was probably Hifumi, right? Not Sakura.
I got it!
Yeah.
It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Wow, that's that's crazy. Dang. I knew they were going to go after each other in this chapter after like the whole thing with alter ego. I knew they were going to go after each other.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
I think that Hifumi stole from Taka. Could it be? Scrap of paper? This?
I got it!
Yeah.
You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my
said
note
rec
it
room,
said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
It was me! It was Hifumi's pants! No, it's
I
Taka.
got it! That's right! Taka!
Yeah, they're going after each other. After the whole alter ego stuff that went down.
The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection! I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Happy! Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Oh, yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
Oh my gosh. Man, Genocide Jack is seriously scary, but still. I can't let her get to me. Oh, that's funny.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Okay, I think we have to pick one of the flashbacks. That one note said 6 a.m. What happened at 6 a.m.? So I need to clear up.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said.
Oh, that's not what I wanted.
What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go say hi to a few friends at this game. Be right back. Alright. Oh yeah, right. I need to click on the tab. There we go. What are you talking about? I want to stab you seriously, adorably serious face off. Shoot. Oh my god. Okay.
Huffy had the note, right?
It's gonna be any of these.
Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
I don't think so.
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Wait, Huffy has nothing to do with it. Dang it, okay. I'm gonna attack you now. I wanna kill you. Next chapter is Kuli Makoto stuff.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended must have been Happy!
Oh, okay, you know what? I think I
But
know what it
remember
is.
what the note said.
What time did it say?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
Maybe it's that one? Maybe? It has to do with Huffy, Hifumi.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
Nope. There. Oh, just kidding. I am not good at this, am I?
Shoot!
Okay.
Huffy had the note, right?
But remember what the note said.
Dang it.
What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
Maybe it does. This is hard, okay. That's what I need to clear up. Okay, let's just
Puppy
everything
had the
again.
note, right?
Okay.
Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy.
But remember what the note said. What
Jeez.
time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
No? Oh my
Shoot.
gosh. Okay.
Puppy had the note, right?
Okay.
Then the person it was intended must have been Happy.
Okay.
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
Okay, this is
Puppy
hard.
had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for
Yeah, I'm gonna
must have
assume
been Happy.
these have nothing to do with anything.
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
Okay, we got that. 6 a.m. because that's when. Oh, what does it have to do with the wristwatch?
Puppy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy.
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
Oh, the wristwatch.
Time doesn't matter.
Okay, I see.
The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
So it did have to do. It was one of those options. Okay.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that. No further objections.
Oh my gosh.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they'd found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less.
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Scrap of paper, right?
I got it!
There we go.
When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from
Came from that same note that Hifumi had stuffed down his pants. Ooh, I'm proud of
I knew
myself
it.
for that one.
It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip. leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure.
Yeah.
In fact,
Hifumi was probably the accomplice. That could be it. Hifumi was probably the accomplice because Monokuma didn't deny the fact that there was possibly an accomplice in this murder. So possibly, I'm telling you, it's Celeste. It has to be Celeste. So Celeste killed Taka, and she tried to make Hifumi. She got Hifumi to work for her or whatever, because he was like obsessed with her. He liked her a lot. So that could be the case.
he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
I don't think so.
Sorry, no.
Yeah, no. I think it's Celeste. Because Celeste had
When we
him
found
under
him in
his
the
tongue,
repository,
under his tongue,
Hifumi
under
was
his,
truly and
under her,
completely dead.
finger.
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
Celeste. It had to have been Celeste.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Dang.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Oh my gosh. I'm starting to take a liking into Genocide Jill here.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours
that's
after
funny.
all.
Freaking Byakuya. You're an interesting character. I'm starting to take a liking to you.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments.
Could the hammer that we have in our stead be of use to this
But if
moment
the
right here?
hammers were already laying around those other rooms,
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
so then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. Okay. Let's do this again. Spotless hammer, yep. This is coming into play.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about make its appearance!
Might be
Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info.
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers. And,
that's about it.
That's about it.
Hifumi was killed in the repository, right? So if the weapons used to kill both of them were actually similar.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, there's one thing. How was the culprit able to move around so free? How did nobody witness them carrying?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/.
Well, one thing seems pretty. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
There we go. Because this is
No,
spotless,
it's
I
wrong.
think so.
The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Okay.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used the hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Celeste. It was Celeste.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
Yeah, but if he's in love with someone that's also here, he would do anything for them. Like, you know how in the earlier chapters he was like obsessing over Celeste, right? So Celeste was able to get him under her thumb so he could help, so he could be her accomplice. So it had to have been Celeste. I don't see any reason it would be anybody else. It has to have been Celeste, because the only person that would work for Celeste is Hifumi, because he's so obsessed with him, or with her.
So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but I'm telling you, it was Celeste. It had to have been Celeste.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
I don't think so.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
It's true. Notice there's no chance two people work together on this?
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit, only the one who actually carried out the act can assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
No. I think that wouldn't be it. Sorry, Kyoko, don't give me that look. I'm sorry. Might be.
Based on the rules that have been laid out, even if more than one, only the one who actually carried out the act, assuming the rule holds true. It is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were 2 murders.
They really say there was no chance 2 people work together on this.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate, assuming the rule holds true.
It is simply impossible.
There we go.
No, it's wrong.
It was Celeste. I'm telling you, it's Celeste.
Since there were 2 murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
I'm telling you, it was Celeste.
You're saying that 2 people could act as each other's accomplices to commit 2 separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating 2 separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their
It had to have
plan.
been Celeste. I'm telling you, it was Celeste. I'm telling you.
And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
The effort made to convince us the 2 murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is
I
at
understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. It was me! No. I'm telling you, it's Celeste. It had to have been Celeste.
Here's my answer.
Yeah, it had to have been Celeste.
It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
You wrapped Hifumi under your thumb so easily because he's obsessed with you. He was
I
obsessed
really
with you.
do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying then is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him.
Yeah, but the thing is, he was obsessed with you, so you can easily manipulate him by saying, oh, you're gonna do this for him or whatever, something like that. You could have manipulated him to doing anything you wanted for you, and he would have gotten a reward from it. So that's the thing. It was you, Celeste. I'm sorry, but it was you.
That I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? The screaming. The screaming. Kind of suspicious individuals. Paper hidden. No. The screaming. Wait, no. Wait, no. That literally makes no sense.
Shoot!
Last heart. Oh my gosh. No, we ain't done yet, buddy. We ain't done yet.
I refuse to give up yet!
Oh my gosh.
Since there were...
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, the payoff for their help.
A single...
Yeah. It was definitely not Genocide Joe. No, it was you.
Here's my answer!
Okay. Encountering the suspicious individual, paper hidden in Hifumi's pants. Encountering the suspicious individual.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Sorry.
Damn. Shut down.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. Saw him, this strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. Was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Very well, then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I'll leave the capture the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
Yeah, you got nothing to say, huh?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. Did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything The whole thing was one big act!
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom.
Celeste took advantage of that.
Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Oh, what?
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
Oh, she's so faking, man. She is so faking.
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Let's really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys did. Died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Byakuya, go off, man. Byakuya said that Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. What is he alluding to? Oh, this is so good.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it?
I think.
What was so strange about Celeste's
It
comment?
was you. No. She said us. When she said that, she should only have known about Hifumi's death. With that in mind, what's so strange about what she said is...
All I said was... They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was... They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around. They must be positively... We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
No.
Shoot!
All I said was... They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened. They must be positively... We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I...
And that's all it... What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was... They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused.
I don't know.
Shoot!
Was tiny. This is my goddamn time. Oh my gosh.
All I...
Hold on. Just in case we... Oh, we can't do it. I'm just kidding.
They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be positive. We are all going to die.
We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to...
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I don't think it should work for you. Figure out yourself why your comment doesn't make sense.
Shoot!
There's one contradiction in there somewhere.
All I said was
They must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around, right?
they must be positive.
We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
I don't know.
Shoot!
I think I'm just dumb. I'm pretty sure it's quite obvious, but I'm just like not pinpointing it.
All I said was they must really be enjoying the sight of us stand. They must be positive.
We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to... What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be positive.
We are all going to die. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's
All it takes to...
finish this. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Yeah, it's at those guys. That's
All
what it
I
is.
said was they must really be
Enjoying the sight of us standing around.
They must be positively.
We are all going to die here.
No.
Shoot!
Even if it's red, it's tiny. Oh my god, I know. I'm pretty sure it's to those guys. I just have to find out which one it goes to. Because he should have only known about Hifumi's death.
I refuse to give up yet!
All I said was they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened, and they must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. And that is all.
Oh, you know
And
what? I
that's
think
all it
it's-
takes to... What was so
I'm just
strange
strange
about...
Celeste's
That's what I
comment.
need. She should have only known about Hifumi's. Yeah, and then it's to those guys. Okay.
All I said they must really enjoying the sight of us.
Yeah.
They must be positive. We are all going to die.
We are going
This
to
one right
die,
here. Here we go.
just like
There we go.
No, that's wrong! That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
We got you, Celeste.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know
I'm
they were
excited.
both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
you all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
I don't think that's it.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist? Simple.
Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanations? If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is Hifumi and the suspect are dancing? No. Hifumi and the suspect have been drinking? No. Hifumi is dragging the suspect away.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That got her.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
I wonder why they chose Hero rather than anybody
Such
else.
a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Damn. Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? Alright.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No.
No way!
If I remember right, Hina said she said that she couldn't bend at the waist.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit!
No way! You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi. You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly if the person inside the suit was unconscious.
No. Maybe it was first time me and put all
Shoot!
whatever, Celeste. Okay.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect, if the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
And the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
It has nothing to do
No way!
with Yasuhiro's message.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
No?
Shoot!
Is it going to be a flashback also? I don't think so.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is if the person inside the suit was unconscious.
I am so confused.
Shoot!
Okay.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
That one I kind of just guessed on. I couldn't really think of anything.
No.
I just tried
Even
it.
if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that.
Oh, okay. I see.
Because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Haha.
Celeste
We
and
got her.
Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate? Don't make me laugh, you idiot!
Oh my
What
God.
do you mean, checkmate?
Her accent went away.
Celeste? Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Who was it? Who attacked you? Who tried to kill you? Who killed me? That's right. I remember their name. Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear. Was it he said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Except for serious a lot, no. No nicknames. Except people's last
I
names.
got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his
Yep.
last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random
Damn.
chance. Now
Just
isn't
don't
that a
talk, please.
convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to. And that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
Oh.
What did you just say?
Didn't give us her actual name in the report card? No. It was Celestia Ludenberg. Huh. Okay.
To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I?
Oh my god.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up!
My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celestia won't give up so bad. I have to do something to make her accept it. E-handbook. This is where the e-handbook's gonna come in handy. Yeah, this is where the e-handbook's gonna come in handy.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
Incorrect. E-handbook.
No, that's wrong!
Oh, this is awesome.
That's it! The handbook!
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is absolutely vital to a healthy school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it will display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now this is your everyday notebook. It has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning.
There we
and
go.
shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Closing climax info. Okay. Act 1. Let's see. In this case, how did the killer recruit their accomplice? Was it seduction? Let's see. Would this have really... would that have really done anything? I don't know, maybe? I don't know what that has to do with anything. Okay. Let's see. What time did the killers call their victim to the rec room? Be that. Yeah, I wouldn't. Wait. Oh wait, this one is. I'm pretty sure it's. Wait, hold on. Can't remember if we can read these. Who was it the killer summoned first? It was Taka. Oh no, it was Hiro. Right? It's Hiro. Okay, Wait, his said 1 a.m. So, would it be that one or would it be the other one? It's right here. It's this one. Because his note said 1 a.m. So, okay. Let's see. They stuffed him in there. They knocked him out, then stuffed him into Robo's justice suit to falsify their evidence. And they used a certain item to do it. What is that? Let's see. I don't know. This? Maybe? His at 6? What time was Ty supposed to head to the equipment room? 6 o'clock. Okay. Justice Hammer that was used to kill Taka, what number was it? It was number 4, right? Oh, it doesn't say. Okay, yeah, it doesn't say. I believe it was 4. Yeah, it was 4. Okay. In the library, Hifumi said Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a shadowy criminal. Camera, right? Which Justice House in the nurse's office when Hifumi was pretending to be dead? It was number 3? Yeah, it was number 3. So number 2 was used to attack Celeste, I believe. Okay. Hifumi used something to move Taka's body. It's not the backpack. Wait, no, it's not gonna be the backpack. What was it? Wait, is it Hifumi? Oh, it was that one was this. That's I think that's a tarp. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this doesn't go there. That one goes here. Okay. Let's go back to this one real quick. Knocked him out, then stuffed him in the Robo's justice suit to falsify their evidence. Certain item to do it. What is this? This maybe? Okay, you know what? We're just gonna come back to that one. Okay. Number 10. The weapon that killer used to murder Hifumi, what was it? It was this. Okay. Okay, it's just this one we need. Something has anything to do with his backpack. In this one? Maybe?
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was...
I knew that wasn't it. I can't say it. Right. Okay.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder.
Okay.
Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit.
Okay, I don't know what that one would be. Knocked him out and stuffed him into Robo's classified evidence. Certain item to do so.
Here's exactly what
I don't
happened.
think it's that one. Aren't those like potato chips?
They drugged him, knocked him.
Yeah, it's not that one. Dang it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's give it another shot.
I refuse to give up yet.
Okay. Then do this again. Okay. Clock. Hero. Okay, this is the one I mixed up with. I don't know if it could be anything else. Maybe it's his backpack? Maybe? That's that. It's number 4. Use the camera to fake it. That one was 3. Okay. It's that. And then that was that.
The
Yeah,
killer
I think
is
this one's good.
you.
I think I got it. I think I got it this time.
That
Okay.
they drugged him, knocked him out, and
What? This one?
the killer is you.
What would it be? A hammer? I don't think so.
They drugged him.
What would it be? This one? I really don't see any other ones that they could have used. It wasn't that.
The killer is you.
The post had nothing to do with anything,
They
right?
drugged him.
Yeah, what am I missing here? Knocked him out and stuffed him in the Robo-Justice suit to falsify their evidence. Certain item to do it. Oh, the camera. Oh, okay, yeah, that was the camera. There we go. In the library, Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a shadowy criminal. That one?
The killer is
Maybe?
you. They drugged him, knocked him out.
There we go.
Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker.
There we go.
And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect.
The number 2 that
The first
that
fake
supposedly
incident
hit
was the
Celeste.
attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act.
Yep.
Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Celeste.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Complete.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no.
Her voice changed.
Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
So she was faking her accent the entire time?
Interesting.
Didn't do too hot on this one. A, B's, A, B, A, B, A, B, 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 A. Oh, nice. You got an A. Yay. And 88 medals.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote, okay? Okay. If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Wow. That was an intense one. That was really difficult. Basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The Blackened this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. Guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would happily agree to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Did you use, you know. I knew you'd figured it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right to get Hifumi to act as my accomplice.
Indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... You're talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What was that? Whoa, what? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. Damn, Kyoko, go off.
In other words...
Then you're the one that stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
You used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually...
I was hoping I could talk to you. Alone. Alright, we're gonna go see with this conversation in the next episode because this episode's about to hit 2 hours. And like I said before, I'm not trying to hit 2 hours per episode. So we're gonna end off the episode here. The next episode we'll go ahead and finally complete chapter 3, and then we can get we can get into chapter 4. So yeah, thank y'all so very much for watching this episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. And I'll see y'all next time. And next time we'll have chapter 3 completed and we'll start on chapter 4. Maybe get halfway through chapter 4 maybe, depending, since this is almost done anyway. So yeah, anyways, thank y'all so very much for watching this episode of Danganronpa, and I'll see y'all next time.